Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Grumpy Dads. Before we go on, I want you to go and hit like, I want you to hit subscribe and that bell so you know when there's new content going up, because we've got some amazing guests coming up today, being really no exception. As usual, with me is Chris.
Hello, mate, and it is no exception. We've got the amazing Simon Sansome.
Hello.
Hello.
How are we doing, Simon? You okay?
Yeah, I'm very well, thank you, chaps. How are you two doing?
I'm going to admit that I didn't press record, so we're doing this for a second time. There is no... So I'm going to say it again. I'm quite enjoying there's no snow outside, and I can see my grass for the first time.
I saw my nephews and nieces the first time in a good few, in a long time, because I've got quite a huge garden. I've got quite a big plot of land I'm very fortunate to have. And my nephews and nieces came over when it snowed and made snowmen. And I could... Well, although they were still 20 metres away, you could see them having snowball fights, making snowmen. It was really nice.
That is wicked.
And now we've got big piles of snow just sitting there with nice green grass.
I hate snow. I hate the whole, it's pretty for a day. It's like having kids. It's like 20 seconds of pleasure followed by 18 years of misery. And you get the snow, it's beautiful.
Yeah, it looks very pretty, but anyone who's in a wheelchair, or if you're old, it's absolutely terrifying, especially if you're going downhill in a wheelchair.
It's one of those things you don't think about, isn't it? Because when we were talking before, it really made me think. It's like I'd never thought about the fact that wheelchairs and anybody who's got prosthetics or anything like that, it must really, really be difficult.
Yeah.
It's not something that we do think about, though, is it? If we don't face it in our daily lives, and we just don't think about it.
Right.
Liz put up a post on Twitter about her difficulties when she went to Sainsbury's with a flatmate, and they hadn't salted the car park. So it's just one of those things that that needs to be highlighted now and then, just so we everybody's made aware.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a reason I didn't become a professional ice skater. You know what I mean?
Well, before my injury, I used to love ice skating.
I used to do it.
I used to go to Nottingham Ice Rink every week.
Speaking of cold, should we crack on with icebreaker antics? So I scour the net looking for products with 1-star reviews. I read out the reviews, and you've got to guess the product based on the review. The first guess, 3 stars. Second guess, 2 stars, and last guess is 1 star. First review. Had an unfortunate reaction to this blend, immediately felt sick, and then was on the toilet for hours.
Oh, it's got to be like a milkshake, like Yazoo or something, or Angel Delight.
I'm going to go with the coffee.
Oh, I hate when these situations comes up. It happened last week with the keyboard, but you said laptop, and it's... I can't not give it to you based on a technicality. It is Slim Fast chocolate.
Oh
cake.
yes,
Oh.
so close.
Yeah. The other 2 reviews on that one: tastes odd, stomachache, never had a problem drinking the protein edition. Disgusting and watery. I can see why people would lose weight. So
Yeah.
I think I got it from that.
I must admit, I have tried it. I didn't enjoy it, and I've been on a diet for the past 25 years. It never worked.
You're like me. I live my life on some form of diet or another because my body hates me.
So easy to gain, so difficult to lose. It is, yeah. Second product, first review. Disappointed. It looks amazing, but it's just too hard and firm.
Oh, that's not like the new KFC like gravy burger, is it by any chance?
No.
The gravy burger. That's the best way to put it ever. You've got McDonald's and you've got KFC. McDonald's keep trying to push us. Oh, we've gone healthy now. It's really we're not the evil, unhealthy people that you think we are. Mm-hmm. KFC have just gone, fuck it.
Yeah,
it's going to kill you. You'll die happy.
What's your guess, Duncan?
It could be Boris Johnson's hair or Trump's hair. That would actually. It doesn't look amazing though, does it?
No, I was going to say the amazing shouldn't qualify for that answer.
No. I imagine. I mean, Donald Trump's hair. It must be some form of a helmet. It's got to be pretty hard and firm. It looks amazing, too hard and firm. I'm going to go for jelly.
Jelly. It's not jelly. No. Second review. Already a big rip in it. Sat down and I heard an almighty tear. That sounds confident.
Is it like an ottoman footstool?
It's not. No.
Oh, beanbag. Say beanbag.
Say beanbag. Is it beanbag by any chance?
No, it's not.
Oh,
Setting you up for failure. Third review. Why have they built it like this? I can feel the wood in my back.
oh, is it an egg chair or something?
Again, oh, it's just two
Just
for
a
two
chair,
at the moment.
I'd say.
It's basically.
You can't say Eames chair. They cost a fortune. I've got one behind me.
No, this is a sofa, but I'm going to give it you based on chair because it's too broad. So we got 4 stars so far. Third product, first review. I don't mind tight, but these are cutting off my circulation.
Is it like it's winter, isn't it? So you got to go for like leg warmers or something.
It's not leg warmers.
See, I'd go condom again, but you've actually done that one now. That was
the curveball that I threw out there last week.
Oh no, it's not that. Is it those new? I keep seeing those new pants for men's pants advertised that are like the last pants you'll ever need. Which,
Oh, the Australian. I've got some of those. The one things, yeah, the bamboo pants.
yeah, that's it. The bamboo,
bamboo pants.
I'm going pants, just pants.
I don't know if I can get away with this with the technicality again. Well, no, I can't. I'm going to give it you because it's boxer shorts. The 2 remaining reviews, if you're wet in any way, even damp, forget trying to get these on. 2 to 3 washes, and these have checked out. Seams everywhere and waistband disintegrated. These were 25 quid as well for a pair.
25 quid?
Yeah. I think they're called Step 1. Is that the right ones?
That's the ones I was thinking of, yeah.
Yeah, and they're the ones that do the Australian marketing thing. They're very good. I mean, marketing-wise, it's a genius way of selling underwear. But I've got a pair, and they're absolutely terrible.
You finish on 7 stars, which is second place. None of our placings are guaranteed because me and Duncan will just forget, and I've already stated I'm not doing a league table. But yeah, it's a good go. We move on to the next part of Icebreaker, which is crazy questions. I will say these aren't off the top of my head because some of them are pretty out there. But first question, what invention doesn't get a lot of love, but we couldn't live without it?
I'll tell you what, I'm going to do a bit of product placement.
Oh,
as if Disney need any more product placement. And I'm pretty sure that gets quite a lot of love, doesn't it?
Well, I mean, I was watching The Mandalorian, and what I noticed is the stormtroopers get killed after every shot. There isn't one stormtrooper that lasts past one shot. And so I thought, they need a bit of loving.
That's a good answer.
it's equivalent to being the random ensign in Star Trek, isn't it?
Yeah,
if you haven't been on before and you're an ensign, you're going to die.
You know you're going to die.
How great is Mandalorian, though?
Oh, it's fantastic.
I'm going to say the humble toilet.
I was going to say toilet. That was in my head because I wasn't.
I often wonder what toilets must think. Here comes that arsehole again. Oh, he gives me the shit. He really pisses me off.
Why do I keep on seeing arses all day?
Can't take this crap anymore.
Second crazy question. What are you interested in that most people aren't?
Stamp collecting.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I've got, and I also I also collect coins as well, specialised coins like Paddington Bear ones, Winnie the Pooh ones from the Royal Mint.
Wicked!
I got the James Bond stamp collection from the Royal Mail. I got the Star Trek one, special edition, Star Wars one. So anything like that, I've got a box full, and I'm just keeping them in a box for retirement.
It's funny because I model my life on both Winnie the Pooh and Paddington Bear. Up here, it's all closed. Downstairs, free as a bird. As Deadpool would say, full Winnie the Pooh.
What are you interested in that most people aren't, Duncan?
Oh,
don't say this podcast.
Probably my biggest interest is probably the guitar, specifically the guitar. That I love any guitar music. I love the versatility of the guitar. I love how it makes me feel when I play it. So more than narrower than just sort of broadly music. I really specifically do love the guitar as an instrument and the craft and stuff that goes into guitars. Like my guitar here, I just love the pieces. It is just beautiful, and yeah, that would probably be my answer.
That's a good answer. The third crazy question: what was cool when you were young but isn't cool now?
Knight Rider.
That is debatable. And nobody say their 40-year-old fridge that they used to have, because that's not going to work either.
Star Trek: The Next Generation.
I debate that also.
No, because for me, I still watch it almost every day.
I do on Netflix.
Yeah, but trying to get my nephew and nieces into Star Trek: The Next Generation, they will not watch it for love or money.
It's dated badly. That's what I would say. It's a show that has dated badly. I remember when it was on and it came out, and it was almost cinema quality on TV. And it was mind blowing. And when the movie came out, it was like, this isn't that much better, because the quality of the show was so high. But you look back now and it really is dated badly.
I still love it.
I still love it. The stories are fantastic. It's very well done. The characters are great, but yeah, trying to get kids to watch it today, it's really difficult. So, yeah.
What did you think of the new Picard?
I think it struggled. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the nostalgia of it, but I also think it struggled with the storylines. I don't think it was strong as it could have been.
They drew it out too much, but I really liked the new direction in it. I actually really liked there was a grit to it that lacks in a lot of Star Trek stuff, and I liked that they really sort of pulled that side into it. That it was almost a bit more Star Wars in some way than it was Star Trek, but with lashings of Star Trek added.
The only thing that actually saved it for me, which she saved a couple of TV shows, was Jerry Ryan 7 and 9. I think she saved Picard, and obviously she saved Voyager as well from being cancelled. And I think she needs her own TV show.
Well, she's on MacGyver.
Oh, is she?
She's been in the new MacGyver series.
Oh, yeah,
that's a show that was never cool until Selma and Patty from The Simpsons fell in love with MacGyver, and then suddenly it was kind of cool in a really dodgy way.
Duncan, your answer: what was cool when you were young but isn't cool now?
Hair metal.
Hair metal.
Hair metal, so Poison and Motley Crue and all that kind of
see.
Stuff. The big poofy hair and the really overly done flashy guitar, the complete lack of substance. It was so cool back in the day. You look back now and it really is so cringeworthy. You just I remember buying the first Poison album, and I took it to my mum and said, which one's the bloke? Can you have a look on this? Tell me which one's the guy. And she was, I think it's that one. I was like, they're all guys, Mum. She was just, what? They look so ridiculous.
I think I'm going to revert back to fashion. There was these Adidas poppers that went right the way up on the side of the leg they were in, and also a brand called, I think it was called Spliffy. Yeah.
That sounds like drug paraphernalia to me.
It was, because he was carrying a spliff on the drawing, like little logo thing.
I had a jacket of that as well.
What was the other one though? Because wasn't there a knockoff one, or was there a more expensive version?
I remember the knockoff one. I remember you could get spliff trainers and spliff jackets.
Yeah, but they were like the bomber jackets? Yeah.
They didn't make it to Australia.
They were god awful. Absolutely,
they missed the boat there.
Awful.
Well, if you're going to go like fatty, let's face it, Speedos.
Have they ever been cool? I think they were always functional rather than cool.
They're always budgie smugglers.
Speedos are allowed is if you're in an Olympic swimming pool. Because for speed and dynamic, that's the only time you should ever see a person in Speedo. And nobody
even now they don't. They wear almost the full body things now, don't they? Because it's
Stringfellow in a Speedo. It's wrong.
Simon.
Yes.
Tell us about Finding My Feet.
Right. Finding My Feet is a film which we're hopefully filming soon, and a documentary about me.
Wow.
Yeah, I love Duncan's face. Yeah.
What happened was, he's with Three Blind Mice, got introduced to a production company down in Bournemouth, quite a big production company. They did the Journey to Le Mans with Patrick Stewart. They've done the Rocky documentary, Becoming Rocky, with Sylvester Stallone. And next week they are launching the Frank Stallone documentary, which is a worldwide release. And we went down to meet them about Three Blind Mice, because Three Blind Mice, the comic book, which we'll be talking about later, we were supposed to be doing a trailer for. But everything got shut down due to COVID. And when I was down there, I told them my story about ability access, how I was getting 20 million hits a month on Facebook, and how I took on my employer for disability discrimination, representing myself, how I took on the NHS because they misdiagnosed my situation, which left me partially paralysed. And they said, "Oh my God, Simon, this has to be a film." And I went, "What?" I'm here to talk about Three Blind Mice. I want to make that into a film. And I went, no. We're going to make a story about you. I went, "What?" Yeah. And 2 months later, we are in Bournemouth shooting the trailer for Finding My Feet.
My husband's supposed to get up the stairs. He's in a wheelchair.
I've had an idea.
Which you can find on findingmyfeetfilm.com. And it was, I know this is going to be released in a couple of weeks' time, but this was, it should be dropped today. It should be available now. So you go to findingmyfeetfilm.com. You can see the trailer, and it's got a bloke called Ollie Batty, who's a very nice Scottish actor who came to stay with me to learn how to use a wheelchair. He's been in a few Christmas films. It stars Sarah Jane, who you might know as Mrs. Tumble. Mr. Tumble and Sarah Jane. She's playing my wife, Kate. And the great and fantastic Graham Cole is my lawyer, PC Tony Stamp from The Bill.
Wow.
And so we've just finished editing the trailer yesterday. It's already been submitted for a documentary and film to Netflix, so we're hoping to hear back from them. And yeah, we should be filming the documentary first and then the film, because at the moment, because of COVID, normally you do the film and then the documentary, but because of COVID, the documentary is a lot more easy to film. So we're going to be doing the documentary first and then the film.
Just
That's
think,
amazing.
if we'd have started this podcast, say like a year earlier, and did an episode, we could have been extras on a movie.
Yeah.
Well, you still can if you want to, because I'll put you in the background somewhere. Yeah, why not? Because we haven't filmed the film yet. We've just done the trailer.
What would we be doing? Yes. Is there a pub set in the movie somewhere?
There's court settings. There is university settings. There are magistrate courts. There are crown courts. There are a lot of court scenes.
Is there like a biker scene? Because you and I Simon could easily do that.
So it was an interesting event. I wasn't expecting it. It was great fun filming. We all had to self-isolate in a house for 4 days. So we had the film crew, the camera crew, hanging out with Graham Cole for a few days. I'm really good friends with now. It's absolutely brilliant. It was great fun, and we're keeping the cast on for the film. Hopefully.
Have you ever done anything like this before?
I've been in a few TV. I've been a writer for many years, so I've presented stuff. I've done my own podcast. Nothing on this scale, because this is a major production company. It's called Branded Studios, and they've worked with Sylvester Stallone, Frank Stallone. They Road to Le Mans, Journey to Le Mans, Patrick Stewart, narrating and stuff. It's like, and then me, and I'm like, yeah, okay.
When you went, did you have like an expectation when you went there how things were going to go, or did you just go in blind?
I was there to promote the comic book Three Blind Mice, to turn it into do a trailer, because we were going to promote it, pitch it to Amazon Prime for a TV show or 3 films. They hadn't decided which ones they wanted yet, and it had nothing to do with me whatsoever.
Is that something that you're going to follow up?
Yeah, very much so. So we've already pitched Three Blind Mice to the BBC. They turned it down within like 12 hours.
Really?
I've pitched many things to the BBC before. I've never had a comeback so quickly.
Was that just the script you sent in?
No, that was the comic book.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we sent the comic book and they went, no. And that's to the head of commissioning. So, but something like this is really like Netflix or Amazon Prime because of the storyline, the gruesomeness in it of it as well.
What rating would you like it to be?
Because 12 plus.
12 plus, really?
12 plus.
Are we talking about the comic that you sent me? You know, Adam takes someone's head off with an axe. Yeah,
absolutely. But it's a mixture between Buffy the Vampire Slayer and the Big Bang Theory.
Are you going to replace blood with sweets that pop out from
No, it's a fun sci-fi fantasy. Maybe a 15. But demons and monsters getting decapitated, being chased around Leicester. But it's also fun as well. It's also got the comical aspect. So, for example, Adam's character, every time he kills someone, he's terrified, or when he kills a demon. So he tells a really bad joke to calm himself down.
Yeah, I like that.
A comedian. So so he I got him to got him to send me over some of his stand-up jokes because he did try stand-up once in America, failed terribly. And so he sent me some of these jokes through, so I put those in there because I can't write jokes. But no, it's good fun.
Evidently, Adam can't either. I'm sorry, mate. I love you if you're watching this.
Yeah,
that'll teach you for waving your PS5 in my face.
That's not a euphemism, people.
It is seriously not a euphemism.
Because let's face it, if you had just a few letters in the PS5, it could spell.
No, it could. It could. Do you think that Amazon or Netflix will pick something like this up? I mean, they've certainly done things like it in the past. I mean,
yeah,
you've got Witcher series, and
Netflix have the budget to take risks. Okay, yeah. The budget for them doesn't really matter. It's the content, and this is a really content story. This is one of 6 comics that are coming out. So the 6 episodes are already written. I just need to get them illustrated with my illustrator, Raquel Guerrero, who's a fantastic illustrator. She's absolutely brilliant. And then we can pitch all of it to Netflix and say, look, here's a comic book about 3 people with disabilities, all with different disabilities, about a sci-fi fantasy adventure. Let's go and make it.
Netflix is so good with representation at the moment as well. We were talking to Liz Wright a couple of weeks ago about this, and she was saying that there's these kids shows that are on, and there's so much disability representation on there. So Llama Llama has the character who's missing a leg and has missing an arm as well, and she's really cool. And there was the dog, it's about a therapy dog called Dude. And we watched a couple episodes with the kids because it was really cool. It's all about the fact that he's basically suffers anxiety. I'd say probably, a form of autism, but he's got this therapy dog. Netflix seem to be doing a really good job of that inclusivity within their shows as well. And it's not contrived. No. It's not like the BBC. You have a rule that you have to have so many, people from different races.
I mean, even in today's year, as society, we're still having difficulty, and me especially, because I didn't see it beforehand, because I've only been disabled for a number of years, is the amount of disabled people who aren't on TV and the underrepresentativeness of disabled people on TV. So I thought, let's be bold, let's be brass, and let's do something where all 3 main characters have a disability rather than just one for notoriety. Let's address the issue. So, for example, my character, obviously in a wheelchair, journalist, based on me, Adam Pearson, who is basically Buffy the Vampire Slayer without some superheroes, can't see a thing. He's blind in one eye. He's got 40% vision in the other, and I've turned him into a demon killer. And the other one, who is not Warwick Davis, I have to say for legal reasons. So I'm friends. I know the Warwick kid. I know the Davises, kind of ish. We're kind of friendly, and he clearly it's based on him. Okay, and Sammy and Warwick know this. However, I had to change the characteristics because I can't use them because Willow, the TV series, coming out next year.
I loved the Life's Too Short series he did with Ricky Gervais.
Yeah,
because it's one scene in that I love. What I love about him is that he's quite prepared to see the humorous side of his disability.
Yeah.
He's driving around this huge Range Rover, and there's just a scene where he gets out of the car. He grabs onto the seatbelt because he sort of slips down. It was the funniest thing I've ever seen, and I just love that he was prepared to do that.
The The one I like is when he was trying to get his award off the top shelf, and he doesn't want assistance from the people watching him, his ex-wife and the boyfriend, and he starts climbing up the shelf.
What?
Hysterics.
Well, of course, that wasn't the first time he worked with Ricky Gervais either, because he did Idiot Abroad as well with Carl Pilkington.
Yes, he did. Yes,
and
I think he was in was he in Extras? It was something like that.
I'm sure he was briefly.
He got dressed up as a frog.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, that's it. What I will say, please, 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 if Netflix do greenlight it, don't make it like Bridgerton.
Oh god! Oh, that's one of the worst shows I've seen. We turned it off after 45 minutes. I just couldn't watch it.
No, currently I was having a discussion about it. You know what? I'm not going to say it here. It's too lowbrow for the podcast. I'm not getting into the argument. No, it's
as a historical British drama, it does not work.
It's porn.
It's been too Americanized.
It has, yeah. And what they've done is thrown some sex scenes in there, and basically said, "There you go. There's some attractive people simulating sex. Yeah. There's your series."
They made it look really pretty and glamorousy and back then.
Crocs.
This is what I don't. I loved Game of Thrones, but I think it's something that Game of Thrones has changed in the entertainment sphere at the moment, because they introduced this idea of sexposition, in that it's an exposition, but they've got to make it interesting somehow. So rather than just a person talking about things that you need to know, they'll chuck a load of naked people having sex in the background, and somehow it justifies it. And I really dislike that. I'm not a prude. Yeah, I'm not.
If you need sex to save a show, then it's not a show.
Exactly. I could not have put it better myself. And they were prolonged scenes as well. And I mean, I didn't actually watch it. The wife did. I was playing my PS and she was watching it. Well, I'm not going to watch that. I'll just stick on Pornhub or something, but I don't need to.
Let it that bit out, shall we?
Yeah, cut that.
What was this?
That was cut.
Openly just admit that. I could always hear when there was a scene on, because A, you'd hear those grunting noises, and B, there would be this loud orchestra soundtrack in the background while they were at it, and it was just. And I'd say to the wife, like, "Are they at it again?" "Yeah, they're at it again." Yeah, he's got her up a tree or something. No, keep it. I don't want it anymore. In fact, cancel season 2.
What's your soundtrack for the bedroom?
It's like 50 Shades. You actually get bored of seeing tits.
You do.
I never thought that would be possible. But you do get bored of seeing tits all the time.
That's to do with a lot to do with the internet, because we become less sensitive to it. It's become extreme, and as it's everywhere, at the click of a button, we've become less sensitive to it. So, 3 Blind Mice Productions. Is it just the comic book and hopefully or you got the movie?
Yeah. So
TV series.
So what comes under it is that about a year or so ago, I did a podcast called Wild Disabled, and what that was me traveling around the country interviewing famous people with disabilities. So that was good fun, and you can listen to that on Audio Boom, iTunes, whatever device you've got.
Link in the description.
So we've got the podcast. So we've got people like Tanny Gray Thompson on there. We've got Adam Pearson, Sam Rank, Dan White. We've got Michael Keynes, and where I dropped the microphone into the jug of water. Sam Bullock, Nicholas McCarthy, one-handed piano player who's fantastic. Yeah, so that was great fun to do. And I haven't been, because of COVID as well. I mean, I like to do the interviews in person, and obviously we can't at the moment. Yeah. So it's kind of been put on hold. Because I do I think you get more out of an interview if you see them in person. You spend time together, you get to know the person a lot better. And so I would like to continue it with more people. And yeah, it'd be great fun to carry on. So we've got the podcast. We've got Three Blind Mice comic book series. That's the first of 6. And we've got Finding My Feet film.com, which is the trailer so far for Finding My Feet.
You did mention that you had one in the pipeline, didn't you, that got cancelled because of COVID? You and Adam going round?
Yeah, so we were in talks with ITV to do a TV show called Simon and Adam's Big UK Lawless Adventure. And everything was set, everything was ready to go. We were going to go around in my adapted camper van around the UK, raising awareness of disability and talking about the stupid laws that exist in the UK. There are stupid laws. For example, you're not allowed to get a member of parliament to enter parliament wearing a suit of armour. Yeah, still exists. Knock and door run is illegal. That was the one. You're not allowed to handle salmon suspiciously.
Salmon, did you say?
Salmon. Yeah.
Is that just salmon? Is trout with cod on there, or
salmon, fish cakes, you name it? You're not allowed to handle them suspiciously. That's what I mean. There are so many stupid laws out there that still exist today. We could make 1,000 TV shows on it. And that was the idea. And we were all set to go. We were all ready to go and film. And then it got, unfortunately, because of COVID, it got pulled. And we haven't been able to do it since because of COVID.
That's a great idea, though. I used to love looking up stupid laws from all over the world.
Yeah.
And some of them, I love the idea of, how did this law come about in the first place?
Yeah, we do look at that as well. When we did some test footage actually down at Parliament Square before lockdown, and it was absolutely brilliant. So it was a really cold, wet Saturday morning, and me and Adam we're just filming on an iPhone, just for some test footage. My wife being the camera person. We were doing something called a law on the floor, where you ask the public, where you can give them a sign saying, "Is this a law or is this a flaw?" One thing we didn't realise is Saturday morning at Parliament Square is the busiest time for tourists, okay, at 10:30 in the morning. So it was the most difficult thing to film because we had trouble finding someone who spoke English. Who knew that would be our biggest problem of filming that morning on a cold, windy Saturday morning?
The Brits won't go out. They're just like, bugger that, it's raining.
We had school kids walking in front of us and stuff. We had Big Ben going off in the background. We had police coming up to us saying, "What are you doing filming here?" And then obviously Adam is obviously very, very, very recognisable. And once you've got a camera pointed at you, people want to come and talk to you.
Yeah.
Adam can't go anywhere without being recognised because obviously, he's on TV a lot and he's got a huge facial disfiguration. So he's extremely recognisable. And it was just a crazy morning. So what should have took 15, 20 minutes ended up taking 2.5 hours.
That is genuinely something that I'd want to watch, though. That sounds so entertaining.
I mean, the thing is as well, it's universal. So not only could you do it in the UK, you could do it in America. On all the stupid laws of the day. You could go to Australia, you could go all over any English-speaking world.
This is it. There are so many stupid laws. There are so many laws that my favourite ever law that I heard was that it's illegal to engage in sexual relations inside a walk-in fridge or freezer. And that's only come about because somebody was doing that and they got caught, I just love that reference point.
Caught or died.
Well, you've got to be brave, haven't you? Because if you're ever going to suffer shrinkage, that's going to be the place.
Simon, tell us about Ability Access Legal.
Yeah, so Ability Access Legal is a new thing, which is on the trailer for Finding My Feet.
I've had an idea.
And this is a new concept. And what happened is when I became disabled, I personally got disability discriminated against. After a year of trying to get to a place where I might be able to go back to work came to my house and said, Simon, you can either take ill health retirement or we're going to suspend you on 4 counts of gross misconduct.
It's ill health retirement or 4 counts of gross misconduct.
I'm sorry? I want to work. I need my job.
And I hadn't been at work for a year. And that was interesting because for a caseworker, for me, I was the best worker in the office. I had the highest case turnover. And I also did emergency call-outs. So why they were doing this to me is purely disability discrimination. Wow. And obviously, the thing is I couldn't afford at the time not to work. You know, we've got me and my wife worked, luckily, she got a decent job. But, you know, we had a mortgage, we had bills to pay, we had expensive equipment we had to get because of my new disability. And there's only so much the NHS will fund. So I took them to court for disability discrimination. And we found out very quickly is a few months before, the government cancelled legal aid for disability discrimination. So what happened is not having no legal experience whatsoever, I took them to court. And we had to stick the charges on my credit card as well for the 2,000 quid that you got to pay to go to court. But the thing is, the maximum you can get is only a year's wage. So the maximum I was going to get was about 35 grand. Okay. But that would tie us over comfortably until we can sort something out. This is not an exaggeration. I represented myself in court, and to prepare myself for the case, I watched Philadelphia, A Few Good Men, and The West Wing.
Did you win?
Yes.
Did anybody spot that you were playing characters?
You can't handle the truth.
No, it was more of you. We don't live in this courtroom.
With all due respect, Your Honor, we don't live in this courtroom, no, do we?
My closing speech was directly from Jed Bartlett from The West Wing. With a few sentences changed to reflect disability. And it was me taking on a £1 billion corporation, okay? But here's the crazy thing is as well. Here's the crazy thing is I had people from my workplace supporting me, okay? Sitting behind me in court against their managers on the opposite side. That's how crazy it was.
Wow.
Okay? So people from my workplace, my friends and colleagues, came out to support me and said, this is bullshit. And they put it in statements and appeared as witnesses in court to say, we support Simon. Yeah, what you're doing to him is wrong. And so using The West Wing, A Few Good Men, Philadelphia, and a few other TV shows, I won the case at the local level. But then they took it to appeal and they wanted costs. Now, when you get to the appeals court in London, it's a different level altogether, okay? Because they're quoting things from like cases from 1973 and, you know, laws that were enacted 2,000 years ago, and you've got no idea what they're talking about. It's just not English.
What movie did you watch to prepare for that one?
I didn't know I mean, unfortunately, you don't see cases on the appeal, do you?
No.
So there were no films to watch to give me advice and guidance.
Like a John Grisham binge watch.
Yeah. So eventually, it did get overturned on one count, saying that I broke the IT rules and regulations with Leicester City Council, and we lost the case at the end of that, unfortunately. Yeah.
Oh, no.
But even in the statement, the judges said they knew what they were trying to do. So they won on a technicality. Doesn't matter. I still got my ill health retirement. I gave them a bloody nose and I had a good chance of winning, so I took them on. But this is where Ability Access Legal has spawned from. So now I'm in a very fortunate position where I can fund my own charity. Okay, so for the next 2 years, everything's ready to go. We're just waiting for our charity number. Because of COVID again, there's about a 6 month delay on getting charity numbers. One of my best mates is an employment barrister, and we did a bit of research with his firm. And it turned out that his firm alone, not just his firm, but his firm alone, was turning away 14 cases a month for disability discrimination. And what happened is when employment tribunals, you only get a year's wage in compensation if you're dismissed and you win the case. And Adrian, for example, his firm charges £350 an hour, which is about average. Okay, so after days of trials, the preparation, the months before, the chance of you coming out with any money whatsoever is absolutely slim to none because it costs that much to go to court. So me and Adrian put our heads together and we said, look, this can't be right. There's no government funding. Let's set up our own charity. So we set up Ability Access Legal, which hopefully from the 1st of April, as long as we get our charity number in time, will be representing people completely free of charge on disability discrimination cases. And we are talking to MPs and stuff to get funding for it. We're approaching charity commissions. We're approaching sponsors, because I can only fund it. I can't fund it forever. There's no way I can do that. It will just bankrupt me. But I can afford to fund it for the first 2 years. And by that time, I think we'll be self-sufficient and have enough funds raised to make sure that if anyone has a issue with disability discrimination in the workplace, then there is a charity they can turn to, that we can look at the case, get a professional qualified barrister on it, and it's not just representing you in court as well, it's representing you in disciplinary stages as well. Hopefully, as long as we get our charity number, we're well away. We're just waiting on it.
I think Chris would agree. We'd both happily go ambassadors for that.
Absolutely, yeah.
Absolutely.
It's something, because me and Simon had a quick chat off camera, but it's something that we love about this podcast, is hearing these projects taken off from other people. It is so amazing. So yours and Send.org UK, all these things that are just fantastic ideas, and people really taking the bull by the horns and going out with the project and to really help people. It's amazing.
Doing this podcast, and it's one of those things I was reflecting the other day on, just, we've only been doing this a few months, and the people we've had on and the people we've got to meet. But what I'm really inspired by is it doesn't matter, something about the SEND community and the disability community in that wider sense. People don't take it lying down. And I love that. If you ever want to meet some inspirational people, go out and get to know some people who are facing disability. Because I haven't met one yet that just goes, oh, well, that's my life screwed. I'm just going to sit at home, eat chisels and watch porn. It doesn't, they don't do that. They go out, they do their thing, but it somehow clicks into this inspiration of, and it's never a selfish thing. That's what really gets me. It's never, I'm doing this to better myself. Every single person we've spoken to, they're looking to, it's about the wider community and helping others to be inspired and to move on with their own disabilities or their own challenges. It blows my mind, and it is so inspiring meeting guys like yourself.
This is the issue, isn't it? It's I got told by the hospital that I'd never sit up again. I was going to be a vegetable, however you want to describe it. I was going to be flat on my back for the rest of my life. I got told never walk again, never have kids, never sit up. And it was heartbreaking, obviously, to hear something like that. And next door to me was the brain injury unit. Okay. And you'd walk, I wouldn't walk past it. My wife walked past it every day. And you think there are, whatever your situation is, there are still people worse off than you. Okay. And this is where Ability Access came in. I didn't set it up for myself. I didn't set it up to be famous, be popular, or anything like that whatsoever. I don't like the limelight. I set it up to raise awareness of issues in the local community. And what I've got back from that is the success of it is clearly, 20 plus million hits a month. In COVID times, we're still getting 1 million hits a month. And there are still issues out there that need addressing, because people are sending us hundreds of pictures, images, videos, comments every single day about issues they're having. And this is where the whole idea of Ability Access went from being to raise awareness of a few access issues to now being a global media stream for many people with 80,000 followers and, I said millions of hits a month. And it's just a platform that people turn to where they want help, guidance, assistance, or to raise awareness. And it's just phenomenal success.
What's your drive for all this, Simon? You're going to be setting up this charity. You've got your website as well.
Yeah.
Obviously, Finding My Feet Three Blind Mice Productions is kind of like personal projects, and with again, that's dashed.
My drive is inequality.
You see that, and that's what's driven you
every day. Whether people sending me images, whether people sending me stories, people wanting help and assistance. But personally, going through it myself. You have to remember, I work for social services, so I was trained in adult mental health and physical disabilities, and don't get me wrong, I was good at my job, and I would say I was cocky at my job as well. I thought I was the bee's knees. And until you're in the chair, you know absolutely nothing until you actually experienced it for yourself. Okay? You think you know it. You think you can be trained in it. But until you're living it every day, you can't. There's no way of knowing. Until you're living in a wheelchair, you've got no idea what to expect. Whether it's getting getting over a threshold into a house, whether you can go and play football with your nephews and nieces. For example, nephew and nieces, as I said, coming around to play snowball fights on your front garden. You can't join in. It's little things like that. And it's just, until you get equality, I mean, obviously I'm never going to have a snowball fight with nephews and nieces because I can't get across the snow. But it's just the things like access issues, employment issues, medication issues, the right to be treated equally, access in a restaurant. Until you see equality of things like that, then you can't stop. It just keeps driving you because it annoys you. The little things that shouldn't be there annoy you. For example, take the current situation at the moment with the COVID situation. Many people have applied for jobs who are disabled, who wanted to work in a call centre, who could work from home. But because they wanted to work from home, they couldn't because the company said, we don't let people work from home. Until an able person wasn't able to get to the office because of COVID, they found a way within weeks of making the whole country work from home and every business working from home. So why couldn't they do that before for people with disabilities who could work from home, but they did it for people without disabilities who now need to work from home? It's that kind of scenario. Until there's a change in society and society thinks differently on disabled access and disabled people, and until it only happens to the fully abled, they won't think of the disabled community.
That's exactly right.
I see it with the hidden disability side of it as well. You know, I run my group on Facebook, and one of the things that you come across is that so many people, and you say, until you've lived it, until you've lived being a parent of a SEND child, you can't understand it. No. Unless you've lived in that box, you can't appreciate it. What you can do, and this is what you're getting at, is you can at least take an attempt. Put yourself in someone's shoes or wheels or whatever as the case may be, and actually think about how is this affecting them and how can we be better about promoting this and doing something about it. And like you say, it sucks that it takes the able-bodied to face a situation for it to become the mother of invention. You know, these are things that we should be doing as a society.
Yeah, it shouldn't happen like that, but it has happened like that.
That's all we got for this week's, guys. I've got to say, I've been tremendously inspired. And if you want to be inspired too, please do hop on, and we'll come to Simon in a moment and he can list off what he's on. You'll find it all in the links in the description. Please go there and check everything out. I want to thank, as always, Chris.
Yeah, thank you, mate. And I don't think I've ever got starstruck during an interview, which is crazy. So honestly, thank you so much for joining us today, Simon.
No, thank you for having me. It's great to speak to you. I love the podcast. And hopefully I wish you great success. I'm going to do a bit of plugging now. If you go to 3blindmice.store, you can buy the first comic book, first edition out now. And if you go to findingmyfeetfilm.com, you can watch the trailer of Finding My Feet, my new film. And Ability Access Legal will be up and running. Hopefully, we're working on the website, waiting for the charity number. It's pretty much all set to go, hopefully by the 1st of April.
Fantastic. Get on it. Every single link will be in the description. Go on there and show your support, because if you have listened to this episode and you haven't been inspired to do something, you need to slap yourself around the face and wake up, because there's so much that's needed there, and Simon's out there doing it. So absolutely, totally inspired. Please like this episode. Please do hit subscribe, do hit like, do hit that notification bell. We've got so many amazing guests, and it's a privilege to be able to do this for both Chris and myself, that we get to talk to these inspiring people every week, and it's incredible. So yeah, stay safe, everyone. Stay inside, keep your distance, and let's get through this together. Love you all.